happened? It was Peter's faith that made him step out of the boat and step into the thing he feared most. Not because the fear was gone. I'm sure he was terrified. But his faith in Jesus outweighed the fear. Because his trust in Jesus was bigger than the fear in front of him. Are you frozen in fear? Or are you free in faith? And let me tell you, I got to share this really quick because Peter is not the only one who learned this lesson in the Bible. This is so cool. This is not just a New Testament story because the same thing happens in the Old Testament. I never realized this. This is how God has always worked. In Joshua chapter 3, we're going all the way back to the Old Testament, all right? Something very similar happens in Joshua chapter 3, and this time God calls his people, the Israelites, to take a step. Not into a storm like Peter, but this time to step into a river. You guys know this story? Imagine the Israelites, all right? They have been wandering the wilderness for 40 years, waiting on the promised land that they were originally meant to enter in earlier, but they couldn't because the generation before them was frozen in fear. And if you remember Moses, he sent spies. You know that story where Moses sent spies to go into the place that God had already called them to go into. He sends the spies, they come back, they're like, no, we can't go in there. There's giants. We're afraid. We can't take the land. The land that God had already promised them. They were frozen in fear. They were too afraid to step out of the boat. So that was the generation before. The entire generation before them, they denied entry into their promised land.